I'm Matt Braunger. This might help.
I am not a doctor.
This might help.
I'm not a professional.
Let's have fun. This honestly is a good time.
Honestly, I got no idea what I'm doing. What's going on? Who are you?
I'm Matt Braunger. This might help. The podcast.
My hair is insane.
It looks great.
I've been trying to fix it 30 times, but I can't see myself.
It looks fine. It looks awesome. Let's start there. Your hair looks fantastic.
But were we starting?
Why
Okay.
not? Hi, Beth.
Were you waiting on me and I was just fucking with my hair?
No. I was actually waiting on Renee to get
Okay,
off screen.
thank goodness.
It's all good. I realize I usually do like, welcome to, and it's like, I need to get away from that fucking morning radio mindset, you know?
I know. Sometimes it's just like, I don't know. What are we all doing? Sometimes it's hard to know. There's no director. We've never had a director. We just all stood in front of a microphone and started talking.
That's really it.
It's like there are no rules to stand up, yet we all adhere to the rules.
Exactly.
Which are, what are the rules?
Or fucking podcasting. I'm just realizing, like, for those of you listening, this is this might help with Matt Braunger. This is and I have my good friend Beth Stelling on here, and we're gonna do our thing. But we're gonna catch up first because you're in LA.
Yeah, been here for the longest time of my whole life.
Yeah, you typically live in New York, right?
I go back and forth between everywhere, but I've had my place here now for 2 years.
Okay.
But there is no time, time's adrift.
Exactly.
So,
you were in Chicago for about 47 years.
Yes.
Right.
Then I graduated from Chicago comedy.
Just like me. I was there for about 69 years and then came to LA. Yeah. I mean, it still blows my mind that I was only in Chicago for, I think, 6 years.
I was there for 4. And that's like such a small amount of time, but it felt so like small. Time for me to move on. I've spent some time here.
I mean, I got to the end of my 20s and was like, am I just always going to be a waiter? Or is this, you know? And I mean, look, you can live and die a waiter. Nothing wrong with that. But it's like if there's one other thing you like more and you can somehow
I think like yes, exactly. It's like if you're a waiter and you've chosen a career path that's more like, I don't know, with stand up there is the small chance. I don't know. There's a smaller, I guess there's a chance of breaking free from it and making it your full-time living. Whereas if you chose to be like a painter, that would be more difficult.
Right.
So maybe you are a lifetime waiter.
Oh God!
But you paint because you care about that.
Yeah, those painters that do giant pieces you're either making a giant mess, or I would say in terms of the market, let's say.
Yeah.
In terms of the evil capitalist market, you're either making a giant mess or it goes for $7 million. Like something there's like no in between. Like those huge. My friend Trish. Who my wife grew up with, when I met her, she was living in Brooklyn and working in an office in New York, I think somewhere in Manhattan, where it was a big office, desks, everything that you'd walk like the set of like what was that movie where like De Niro came on board to help the young female business person because she needed an old man for some fucking reason? I don't know.
Yeah, like my grandpa or something. No, wait, hold on.
No. It was that one with the woman who won the Oscar for Les Mis, who's just like.
Wait.
She was.
Did you just hear me? I go.
My kid makes that noise all the time. She sounds like a baby dinosaur. And anyway, it was a real office. It was giant and huge. And all they did was like once a year, they'd get someone to buy one of those paintings and they'd be set for the whole next year. Everyone would get salaries. Everyone would get benefits. And I was like, talk about the lottery, man. They're just like, we're so close. This really, really, really rich dude is thinking about buying, this. And so, and they were all giant pieces. They were all just these things that take up a wall that only billionaires have the size.
Yeah. They're like, well, I do want something to hang in my hangar, my airport hangar.
I live in it now.
Is it weird to have art in your hangar?
Oh, that's like what we live in now. Where like billionaires are making, like the pandemic has made them make even more money. Like
yes.
like we were already at the point where it's just we've never had a disparity of wealth like we've had before in our lives and culture, and then everyone gets sick, and then it's just like, does God
My
hate
cousin,
us?
I know my cousin was posting about the French Revolution, and I was like, why does this feel close? Like the wealth disparity between kings and queens, and the people who couldn't survive and weren't being given enough bread. And then he posted basically this cool thing about how one of the battles or events of the French Revolution was like all these women who stormed the, like, I don't even know, weapons area or wherever they would keep the weapons, and they stole a bunch of them.
Wow.
And yeah. Anyway, I'm being very vague right now, but
no, but that's we live in the.
It just felt like we're not far off from charging the castle, stealing the weapons, and taking some shit back.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we're also in that Aldous Huxley prison he described, where people love being there and just seal themselves in mentally and emotionally because that you give them. He basically described Facebook before it was Facebook, like so like. As long as these people's minds remain enslaved, it won't kind of happen. And, but I don't know where you what would you storm? Would you storm Facebook for the money? I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I
they
know.
keep it there, and
right.
Then it wouldn't be worth anything. So,
You're right. You're right.
I don't know. I think you and I are definitely the best people to figure out how to create the revolution, but we just got to get our notes straight.
It starts here. Everybody listen. Here's the plan. Get your field hockey sticks. Go outside. Wear a vest.
You made me laugh very hard when you texted me about when I had to move our recording because my wife and I drove across country. We drove 3,000 miles with a baby. And I appreciate it. I recommend that to everyone. Who gives a fuck? Nothing matters. I changed rows in the bar of a race car restaurant called Thunder Road somewhere in Nebraska, and this dude's passing me and he looks at my naked kid and goes, "Hey, that's a rash," and I was like, "Thank you," like. Get away from me. But he's like, "Look, I don't mean, it's weird. It's your kid, but I've got 4 of them. I'm just telling you that's a rash." I'm like, "Oh, we got cream in the car. Thanks, man." And I went and took her out and put a little, and she was fine later. But it's like, just because she's sitting in the seat like for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
So anyway, it sounds like I'm kidding. I kind of do recommend it. Fuck it. But
I do recommend it. Whether you have to have the baby yourself or steal someone else's.
Steal it, whatever.
Get in the car now.
Yeah. But you texted me about doing a Q&A with, what was it? You told me to do a Q&A for because you were promoting your special.
Oh yeah.
And it was something, because I remember
I'm about to look it up. What did I text?
Yeah, I did something to promote my last one. It was a Ask Me Anything, and the lady who ran it was like, "Just FYI, the first couple are going to be really awful," and they were all like, "Who the fuck are you? Who are you?"
Yeah, just so you know, the first.
So I laughed out loud because you said you got the same thing from somebody. You were taking questions on some sort of TikTok or thing like
Look,
thing.
I don't touch
like
TikTok.
The thing that the people who use TikTok, this new thing, their users make fun of TikTok for being old. That whatever you were on, and someone said, "Who are you?" And you were like, you wrote in all caps, "Who are you, sir?" Which is his perfect response. It's like, I would love to come to your house, sir, and find out how you are the arbiter of a person who is a person.
What does
Who's
it
a who?
like? That's their always. It's like if you do Conan or something, that's also always their insult. Who is this? Who? It's like, dude, you can click on anyone in the Discover section of Instagram. Click on them. It's like, it'll be like Drew Marbles, and you click on it. They have like 14 million followers, and you're like, yeah. I also am asking, who is this? Like, what? Who did like? There's so many people in the world. We all have access to all of them now.
Yeah.
The Who used to maybe be an insult when there was 4 famous comics.
Yes.
But now everyone is. And you can just be famous for like farting on your husband. So who am I? Who the fuck are you?
It's
and who cares?
So dead. Celebrity is so fucking dead. And I think that's one of the best parts of getting old is when you hear about something, you don't know who the fuck they are. And you look on Instagram and you're like, 15 million followers.
I know.
And it's more of a delight than anything. I'm just like, wow,
I
don't know who this is.
Yes.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But wow.
Yeah, it's definitely like when you click on it and they have that many, it's not like oh man, I wish I had that. You're just like, you're almost like you're saying in awe of it.
Yes.
Like how did this happen? I mean, obviously not on my watch.
No.
I never chosen this for anyone.
Is so silly.
I just think too, it's like, why is it in every other genre people understand that there's taste, yet in stand-up comedy they find the need to call it so hard that it's funny or not funny to them, or this is shit or this is shit. It's like,
yes,
we don't like the same music. Like when someone is like, this fucking sucks, I'm like, I guarantee that you and I don't like the same music.
Sure.
Please don't like me. I do. It's like, of course I'm like, I feel like I've grown. I'm going on a bunch of different tangents right now, but like, someone came up to me after a show in Portland, and I love performing in Portland, and said they had just seen a comic recently there that they also liked. And they were like, but I like you better because, like, you know, you're like more feminist because you're older and bitter. And I was like, this is someone who like adores me saying this to me. So they're not trying to be nag me. They're not trying to like be mean. They're saying like, I'm here because I love you and I like you because you're like, you know, older and bitter. And it's like, I guess that is what happens with time. I am that because I'm so sick of this shit. And I honestly recently, like, yes, I've considered myself retired from comedy just because obviously what's going on, but also I feel very done with it because I'm just like, for a long time, like, yes, I'm a feminist. That doesn't mean I hate men, right? Yet it's always men that comment or criticize or feel the need to say something to me about my comedy. Like a special comes out and it's like, the commentary is not like, I liked it or I hated it. Or it's always like, well, you could have done this. It's like, do you, like, if you saw Dodgeball, do you go to Vince Vaughn and you're like, your reaction to this could have been better? It's like, it's done. Like, no, that was the movie. Like, you're not giving notes.
You nailed it.
Done.
You nailed it. No, Beth, that's it. Like, it's men don't have to ever change. We don't have to ever change. A dude could make a movie and we'd be like, you know, we could be like, it sucks. But bro, he made this much money, whatever. A woman, it just has to meet all this fucking criteria, and that never goes away. I mean, that's privilege. People
the doneness of it is like, what do you want me to do? Go back and change it? I wouldn't change it anyway. But like, why are you? I think it's because everything was like. I have a similar joke just about a different topic on my special, but it's like for a long time, media was made by men for men. Like that's just a reality. Yeah. So I guess it's like sort of, you know, what am I trying to say? Residuals or a vestige of an older time where it's like a king being like, I like it. I don't like it. I like it. It's like, everything's not for you, king. Like the fact that you need to tell me you don't like it, like it's not for you. Like the fact that is gone. It's over. The time where everything was made for you and you get to say whether you like it or not. It's like, this is just maybe not for you. So don't say anything.
I can count the amount of comedians or acts that I've seen that I'm like, that I genuinely are like, wow, that really sucks so bad I hate it, you know, whatever. But it's so fucking few. So much stuff I just go, all right, it's not really my style, not really, or the style of what I enjoy, but fuck it. But I also, I don't know, there's so much shit that I can just step back and I'm not fucking I'm as prejudiced as anybody from my own perspectives.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's so much more relaxing. And I've talked about this in the show a lot, to just go, oh, it's not for me. Like, that's it. Or just, I always felt like funny or die. You're either funny or you die. It's like, I'm going to go funny or go about my day and I'm never going to click die. I'm just going to go do something fun or work or just like, why would I give a fuck? It's right, like YouTube comments. I made a video just joking in Palm Springs. Jonah told him about this fun editing software that you can make stuff on your phone. I was like, oh, cool. So I just made these bullshit little videos. And I bought some beer from the store. Like our friend gifted us before the baby came this house in Palm Springs, and for like a weekend, like an Airbnb. They paid for it, and we're like, cool. So we went. That's amazing. Super pregnant, and we just kind of stayed in the house and cooked meals and stuff. And I got a couple beers, and they're all local. And there's a beer called Hot Babe or something with like a sex chick on it. And I was like, oh, I'll make a Hot Babe commercial. And this guy's like holding it, and he's like takes a sip, and he's like, that's one hot babe. And then it's like a voiceover is like fuck that chick over there. And the voiceover is like, oh, fuck this guy. And it just cuts right there. Because like, oh, he didn't mean the beer at all, and he's gross. I had to write this screed at the end of it about like, look, no matter what you want to tell people, that's just how men think. And it's like, well, yeah, maybe, but he said it out loud. Did you not get the joke? What the fuck? He told me how men think. I was just like, I feel like a female comedian, finally. like
that's the one new benefit of Twitter, is you can say only people who follow me can reply to this.
Yes.
The amount, I guess you just underestimate how many like people don't get it. Like I've tweeted things that were a joke, and people say, well, this is not blah, 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 blah. It's just like, there's too many voices. And obviously I'm a comic, so I feel like, I want to, like, that's my job. But like, so I'm going to be, I guess, elitist about it. But it's like, sometimes it's fun, of course, to hear from people, or they'll add funny things, but there's just so many people who don't get it.
Right.
And you're just like, I guess I could try to explain, but I'm done. It's like, you think that in this instant gratification world, there would be less anxiety, like, because it's like an immediate this or that, but it's actually so much more.
Yes.
Because, like, for example, you used to be able to call a friend's house and be like, are they there? And they say no. And then you figure something else out. You wouldn't go, I wonder who they're with. I wonder where they are. I'm going to probably look at their Instagram, see where they are. I got to find them. It's like, you just went a different direction. Like, you self-soothed. You figure out something. Or, hey, is she home? Or bike over to the house, knock, knock, knock. Are they here? They're not. You didn't, like, bike around the city to find them.
Right.
You just did your own thing. It's just sort of like, you'd think that the knowing would be a sense of comfort or certainty, and it only adds to the not knowing.
Yes. And I feel like the people who can navigate these anxiety-filled times are the people who have been the most oppressed, because there's a reason why Black Twitter is so much more funny than regular Twitter. Like, I didn't realize, and I'm saying this leading up to an example, I didn't realize that the term canceled came from this like video series where there was this very flamboyant Black gay character who was like, welcome to my house, would you like some coffee? Of course you would. And he goes to the coffee machine and he's like, okay, the coffee machine is broken, coffee is canceled, we're gonna have water. And that was the first time you're saying, where someone was like, and from then you extrapolate that to now, where every other, there have been news programs when someone gets canceled, and like people go after someone on Twitter and just like, you're canceled. And it's like, it's so angry and stupid and shitty. And it came from a very funny throwaway joke by a Black comedian. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and I feel that same thing with like female comedians, because they had so much more,
I feel just like,
so put upon. And that goes for anyone. That goes for, even white men who had to go through a bunch of shit, and of course gay people. But it's just, I feel like the people who just don't recognize how good they have it are the ones who are making their lives a living hell by doing the version that we all remember. I remember that time where everyone had a joke about how porn is ruining us. How like like there was always, it was mostly men, but it was always just like you know, I can't come anymore until I see
without like a ball
without
gag and my
two,
dad pinching
two
my
lesbians
anus.
fucking, you
Or
know,
whatever.
a herd of
I don't
sheep.
know why I just
Whatever.
said that, but you
Yes.
I just said
We did
my
it.
dad.
We both did our own version of that.
Anus?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, anyway. Yes.
But you know, now that's everything. With just, you know, it's
I
like,
think the pandemic exacerbated it. I felt like you know what, I just made the realization where it's like, I feel so bitter because I'm relegated to the social media aspects of comedy, whereas before I would be like on the ground in the club with humans experiencing energy exchange, and instead I'm just experiencing watered down hack shit repeatedly on the internet.
Yep.
And I have always been so like precious about my work. Like, I'm not saying there's shit I've done that I hate. I look back at my Comedy Central half hour and it makes me cringe. So I'm not saying everything I do is.
I hate mine so much. It came out in 2009. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
I hate it so much.
Every time they post a clip, I'm like, please die. I hope that you guys fold and lose all access to this.
Mine's so bad. You don't even see clips of it. Like clubs don't use it. You know, I'm glad it's like buried.
Thank God.
I hate mine. Patton hates his. Pretty much everybody hates their.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's actually rude when they post it. I'm like, I'm so pissed.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta, you know, remember how you'd get off stage and there'd be a person with a clipboard, be like, anything you wanted to leave out or leave in or take, you know, like I was like, ooh, take out this, and leave, and definitely leave in this. They left in those two things, took out the one I said to leave in. I was like, I fucking watched. I was like, dude, like, why'd you even ask? Was that a prank? Like, she must have mixed it up in her head, but it was.
We didn't even get that luxury. You know, all it would have taken for me was someone reminding me, like, hey, if you mess up, you can just retake the sentence. Like, no one even said that to me. I just powered through weird little, you know, moments of me saying a word differently, like, that I've never said it that way before, like, fight. You know, and you're just sort of like, wait, what? I just had to, like, power through it. Anyway, whatever, I forget what I was saying, but I was just like, I am precious about what I put out. Yet we're in an age of quantity over quality. And so that actually contributes to my bitterness. I'm such a bitter bitch. Bitter Betty over here.
But that's such a good point, because I always think about that in terms of the media. Like, the, you know, journalists have it the worst because it's like you're either first or you're last, like Ricky Bobby. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to break the story right away and you don't have time to fact check it. And you're like, oh, no, this person didn't die of AIDS. This person did. You know, like, it's just like, no, you got to check your fucking shit.
Yes.
I'm probably doing the same thing I've always done, where I'm crippled by indecision, so I don't put enough out, you know, but I just also, I like having a life, you know.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm over here
I like my new little family. I like friends and it's like, I mean, I got offered a job, like a recurring role that I would have to fly back for and be there all week. And I'm like, I just was like, I didn't drive 3,000 miles to fly all the way back to LA for this part that you're paying me fucking scale.
Yeah.
And, like, I appreciate it. Anytime someone gets an offer, I'm like,
of course.
You know,
I know.
I've been it's like hard the ugliest to get over kid at the dance.
After saying yes to everything for so long.
Ooh, yeah.
It's hard to turn anything down.
It was flattering. It was nice, but it was like, I don't regret saying no. You know,
good. That's a good feeling, just to like know it too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've loved watching you grow, like your career go on an amazing trajectory. Like, you have that special. And by the way, if you haven't seen it, to people out there, go see it. I love watching Beth do stand-up. And
I know we've had some fun times together.
Absolutely. And my wife is one of the like harshest critics of comedians I've ever known. You know, she used to be my manager. She managed me, and not like, oh, that person sucks. But okay. You know, but she's always loved you. She's always loved your stage persona. She's always loved how you deliver a joke and how you have, you know, unique perspective, which is, of course, for a comedian is fucking everything. You know, one thing Chicago taught me that I'll never forget was a guy who I looked up to, who's very funny and stuff. we were at the back of the room, and this guy on stage goes, he goes, Gatorade has a flavor, fierce lime. What's so fierce about a lime? And the guy next to me, the guy I looked up to, went, yeah, that's what pisses you off. That's what. And I was like, yeah, you just thought of that joke. And it's like, that's not genuine. And I'm not saying you can't be silly, but it's like, you know, you saying the thing about the tattoo of the guy's name and swinging from dick to dick, and like that's a metaphor, but it's just like you're still just going, oh well, here's my life as I know it.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing. I guess that's like all I've ever really known, and so I think right now we're feeling that weird. I feel the stoppage. Like all I've really ever known is taking something from my life, trying to make it funny and sharing it to make my friends laugh. And then that turned into audiences, you know? So it's like, I've always just felt like I was never the comic who's like constantly minding my life and like, let's go to do this so we have material, Matt, you know? Like, I never did that, but I have always minded my life. And so I think it's like a weird like relief that I'm stopping. And it's also scary that it might go away, that the skill will go away, that I'll never be able to do it again, that I'll be, what everyone says is true, that it is such a scary thing we do. You know, when someone says that to you, you're like, no, it's not. But I'm like, it might become that for me by stopping.
Sure.
But I have just always been like a woman, you know, standing with a megaphone in my hand. And if you pinch my butt, everyone's going to hear the squeak. Yes. You know, like that's just been my whole life. So now I'm like kind of putting it down and being like, what do I do?
No, I don't know where, I always say to never stop doing stand-up, and I don't think I will, but it's like, I've definitely had over the last couple of years, you know, crises of confidence here and there where I'm just like, is this, do I just on the road? And it's kind of always this. And like, not that I look at other people, because I've seen a million people come and go high and go low, but it's like, you're kind of reach a point where you kind of fall out of love with it a little bit, you know, but at the same time, I'm just like, I really treasure silliness. I really treasure collecting people's jokes in my head and just saying my mind and being like, oh, that's so fun, and being a part of that scene and having those jokes that other people collect that I've said. I don't necessarily see that getting old, and it's just like, but at the same time, I'll leave it until it comes back. You know,
I think I'm just like, this is my first like actual step away though. You know, like it's just been 13 years straight.
Yeah. Now, before we have the first call, do you get asked for advice?
Yeah, I mean, I guess from friends and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think lately, I don't know. I feel like I'm always the friend who's calling to like talk something out.
Fuck, that's what everybody, I have so many comedian friends on the show, and that's what almost all of them say. The only differential I think was Aparna, she's like, yeah, but I just feel like they know I'm too nice and won't be too like critical. People are just like, do you think I was an asshole that time? And Aparna's like, yeah, no, you were fine.
Yeah, you were okay. Yeah.
You were great.
I think I am the one who's always calling my friend and being like, does this person hate me? You know. Do you think I did something wrong?
That's all of us. So none of these calls have been listened to by me. I don't know what. The
first one's just like, die, bitch.
We shall see. Shit. Well, Renee listens to them. I'm sure we get some.
Oh, good.
I never really
Thanks,
hear
Renee.
Yeah. Okay, let's roll the first call, Renee. Thanks, man.
Hey, Matt and Beth, want to assume? This is Aaron Cahill. Here's my problem. I had a less than positive interaction with my neighbor. She said I was a terrible father, and then within 10 minutes gave my son a large toy golden retriever. I don't know what to do with it. Kid loved it at first. Now he's kind of indifferent with it. He just sits in the room and reminds me of how potentially bad a father I am. So that's my problem. I don't think you need contact information, but if you do, Beth has it. Again, Aaron Cahill. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Oh my gosh. I love Aaron. Okay.
Is Aaron a comic?
Yeah. Well, he is he produces this very fun show in Chicago, like that I did over Zoom.
Oh, okay.
But he's been in this, I think, gosh, now I'm trying to remember how we met. I guess the storytelling world.
Okay.
His
Chicago. Name sounds familiar, but I don't know if I actually know him.
Yeah. I met, I'm trying to think if it was, I think it was the mall. I feel bad now. I'm like, I can't pinpoint. We've known each other for years.
Okay.
But it was our Chicago days. And I think it was the storytelling world of Chicago.
Why do you think this person is
See, that's the thing. That's what he left out. Like, did she see him like leave the kid in the car for a while?
Everybody does. I asked for specificity so much on this show.
Aaron.
But it's like, I mean, it's like you might just be snowblind, to whatever.
Yeah. I wonder what she saw.
Yeah.
Like, did he whap the kid? Did he leave the kid? Did he wet ass pussy the kid? I mean, whap as in, you know what I mean? Did he smack it? Did he leave it in the car while he ran into the groceries? Was he on his phone in the front yard with his kid? How do you get called?
I don't care how bad a father he is. I do, but if he's
not, I doubt.
You call social services.
Yeah.
And you can even tell him, that's fucking horrible. You can, please don't, but do not ever give my kid a fucking dog. Are you out of your mind? If I don't have a dog and you give my kid a dog, I'll kill you. I will murder you with my hands. I will take.
Wait, hold on. He said a stuffed dog.
And I'll take it and just nod. Didn't he say a real dog? Oh.
No, I think it's stuffed.
I thought he meant toy, like a small dog.
Oh.
Oh God, you're absolutely right.
Like a toy poodle. Okay.
I thought it was.
That would be fully insane if she gave it a live animal. That's like here's an Aaron. You know what I mean?
I feel my body relaxing right now.
Okay, good. Yeah,
okay.
I was gonna say basically like here's a cute responsibility. That's the weirdest gift ever. Okay, I think it was a stuffed dog because he said now it just sits there and reminds me of being.
Okay.
Because look, yeah, I'm so confused. But I would say I'm confused how she went from the bad father thing to, was it in jest or because he doesn't spoil the kid? But to go from saying you're a bad father to giving the kid a gift, like to make that better or something, I would say that's crazy behavior.
How does a 10-minute conversation start with you're a bad father?
Right.
There's still 10 minutes. We're still talking.
Okay, but see, here's the thing. I would normally say that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But my landlord is like that, is psychotic. Like one time came in, like, it doesn't even matter, but essentially I realized my window was painted open, like on my back door. And for like a year, I would say like, I just can hear so much. And this is on me. She had put a curtain up and I never lifted the curtain on the door to see.
Wow.
But the point is, I essentially texted her like, oh my God, I figured it out. And when she came in to like look at it, it's like an old door, old building. It was just like an insane voice intensity. She's like George Costanza's mom, like, and it was like, I just wish we could keep the old door. It's such a shame and blah, blah, blah. And you're always complaining. And I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, and we redid the garage because you like, and then I actually was like, who knows? I started crying because she was yelling at me. And she was like, you need to get help. Like she yelled at me. Wow. And then moments later, after I was like, why are you treating me this way? Yeah. Like, why? Do you hate me? Do you want me to leave? And then she's like, you're so clean. You always pay your rent on time. You're a mensch. No hard feelings. And then like left.
Yeah. It's
so to go from like, you're a horrible father to giving a toy that would normally not make sense to me, but I had someone yell in my face to get help and then go, no hot feelings, and then leave and tell me I was a mensch. So I'm like,
yeah. It's
people are.
I guess I'm kind of more because I have dealt with my share of people on the edge for sure. People like that, people that were like just set me rolling on my heels, and like I don't know what to say to you, and then all of a sudden they're nice, and you're like, this is Stockholm syndrome shit.
Yeah.
Get out of me. But my thing is more on him, where is like, if you just go, you're a terrible father. And another thing, I feel like that's when I'm turning, like that's when I'm going to my house. So I'm just like, well, I guess we're done here.
Right. But the neighbor aspect is upsetting. Like that's something you don't consider when you're buying a home. I mean, you do consider it, but in some ways it's out of your control.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want the home, but you're stuck next to that person.
I would say to him, my thing would be like, don't internalize it. You have your own demons. Don't let her throw more on you.
Yeah.
And if the kid loves the dog, the
Well, he said he's indifferent to it now. I would just put it away in a closet
sure.
for a week, and then when it forgets about it, then throw it away.
Great.
Or maybe burn it in the backyard for like your own healing.
Yeah, and within sight of her house. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, I think that's Aaron. I hope that helps you, man. And just you're not a bad father. Don't take this person is fucking.
No.
You know, to call someone your bad father, and then here's a gift from me because I'm a good person. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't hit his kid. That neighbor hit theirs at some point, and the person grew up and was like, I had therapy and I had this memory that I've buried forever. You punched me in the mouth when you were hammered off Mickey's malt liquor. You know, something like, and the person
punched me in the mouth.
They feel so terrible. They're just like watching every other parent being like, that's when they fucked up, you know, or whatever. So that's so strong. I couldn't imagine, you know.
I know.
I could see someone backhand their kid at CVS and I'd be like, hey, and be like,
or just like, whoa, are you okay? I mean, like,
or yeah, stop. Oh, whoa. I wouldn't go, you're a bad parent.
Yeah,
like, that's so strong. I
also like, whatever. We don't need to get into a whole hitting your kid thing, but I just feel like it's almost down to like someone's, I guess, I don't know. That's a whole nother topic maybe we shouldn't get into, but like, obviously don't beat your kids, but some people are raised that way and then do that, like spank.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I
don't think it's good.
I got spanked, but I'm not going to spank my kid, you know?
Yeah. It feels weird. It feels like maybe not the best tactic.
The size difference is just insane.
Yeah.
Especially
you hire another baby to smack your baby.
Oh. See, and that's emotionally hard.
A fair fight.
That just kills them. Okay. So I hope that helps you, Aaron. You're not a bad father. Renee, roll a second call.
Hello, Matt and Beth. My name is Rob. I work for a company making silly robots. We're about to become a bigger company, and at the beginning of the pandemic, my wife was just finishing up her degree, and within the same week of her graduating, she got laid off. So, I'll probably be making more money next week or not have a job. We'll find out. But I want her to get a job. How do I convince her to do that? Bye.
I thought this was going to go so differently. I thought he was going to say, because he was like, I work for this, he makes robots and they're expanding. Silly robots, they're expanding. She lost her job. I thought he was going to say, should I hire my wife at the silly robot factory?
Oh my God. I thought we were going to write a sitcom together, you and me.
But he's just saying she needs to get a job. I think the sentence could just be as simple as, hi, let's talk. I'm having anxiety about getting laid off because we're expanding, if I'm understanding that correctly. And would you be interested in, or would you be open to getting a job to ease that?
I mean, not even, he said he's making more money. He didn't say he's making double his salary, you know? And I think it's more just, not, you know, when Fox News calls, white people who hate people of color economic anxiety, I mean the real economic anxiety. I mean actual people worried about losing their jobs. It's just economic anxiety that everyone has right now. Everyone, no matter how well they're doing, with the exception of maybe billionaires, is like, am I going to be homeless next year?
Right,
you know?
right, because that's so uncertain.
You know, I think maybe he's worried about this person going, oh, cool, I'm just a student full time because you're making all the dough. And I think, like, no, now's the time we have to save money. And I think that's all you have to say, man. Say, like, I'm not giving you a time frame of when you have to get a job or we're done, blah, blah, blah. But please try, because I'm scared. And I think it's okay to be scared right now. You know? Yeah. And I feel like everybody is.
Yeah.
So.
But it sounded like she's done now with her degree. and she got laid off.
Oh, she's done. That's right. She's right. Okay, great. Well, then she's got more ammo.
Yeah, so maybe even saying like, even if you can't find something in your field, could you consider like getting a job and I'll help you?
Yeah, it's exactly right. As long as he's not like, just,
Yeah.
work the fryer at an Arby's, please.
Yeah.
Get
it anything.
She's like, I'm 54. I don't want
Work at a testing site for COVID.
Oh, God.
That'll work, because that's what's happening.
Sure. Oh, my God.
Like, you have to think about what's in demand, and that's in demand.
That is in demand. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but don't, so.
I mean, don't get it. I didn't mean it like that. I meant like, we need people to work those.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. First responders are always in demand.
Yeah. Go back to nursing school. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
He's like, what do we need right now?
It makes it, back to what I said about people leaving things out. It makes me wonder about the nature of the relationship. That is she just like the laziest? Like,
yeah.
Did she get laid off? Like, I immediately imagined it was like, oh, the business went out of business, and
right.
But she's like showing up in like dirty clothes and shit.
Yeah, he was like, she was trying to get laid off and succeeded.
Like, she'd go in hungover on purpose and shit, not brush her teeth and stuff. And like he's walking on eggshells because she's just like done and done. Yeah. Because they went out to the bar like 2 weeks before, and he was like, good news, we're expanding, I'm making more money. She's like,
she's like, I'm gonna totally let go.
She just fucking depth charged her whole thing. Just walked in and pissed on the floor.
Yeah, so he's like, so basically he'll say, I'm making more money, but not enough for you to not work.
Mm-hmm. Or he could also just make up a giant lie about having extensive gambling debts.
He's like, I went on Gap.com. I bought too many pants, all final sale. I need you to get a job.
I bought so many pairs of pants. I'm a shopaholic.
Help.
Do you think about that sometimes where like, you're like, yeah, I'm head above water. At least I don't bet on the ponies. Or like,
yes.
At least I'm not that person that like.
Oh, I have friends that bet on sports and ruin their lives with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank God I don't have that urge.
No. Yeah.
I've never been a gambler because I don't know. I know poor people can be, like, you can be poor and be a gambler.
Right.
And then you can be rich and be poor because you're a gambler. And
right.
you can be poor and then rich because you're a gambler. But so I guess I get the appeal, but because I was never rich, I always look at gambling like truly taking your money and taking a huge dump on it and flushing it down the toilet.
I never grew up in that culture.
I get no joy from it.
I do love playing craps with my wife because she's good at it and she understands it. And we always go, all right, we got $400 to spend. That's it. And we never, really, really, really rarely do ever go, let's do one more $100. It's only in Vegas. And it's my wife, like, she gets so much joy out of it. I love just betting how she bets or doing the roulette table, but like never shit that takes actual like poker where you're sitting there a long time, or blackjack where you win by inches after inch. It's like, fuck, I would rather just go or
I'm
just
not a risk
concert.
I'm not risky with money.
No, I'm not either. For a while I did put almost everything on this one credit card just to get like miles.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't check my balance. I just in my head be like, I know what it is, and it'd be like 5 times what I thought it was. I'd be like, but that was just me. That's just laziness. Did you
get a lot of interest racked up?
I did. And I mean, it paid it off, but like, it was just like, don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
No, don't. It's bad.
It is bad.
Okay, we got time for one more call, and roll the third. Renee.
Oh, shit. Hi, Mr. Braunger. My name is Connor, and my problem is this. I'm in the process of converting to Judaism, Yet I cannot make my dad understand the concept of converting to Judaism. I don't know if that's because he had a stroke or because he's from Texas, but I am curious on how to find out how to make him understand this concept. Anyway, thank you and have a great day.
That's the new game. That's the new game show. Stroke or from Texas?
Or from Texas.
I guess like all he needs to bring him are like, what could he bring him to make him understand?
I mean, I think if his dad's from Texas, his dad is probably raised in the Christian faith.
Yeah.
And so it's just Old Testament. It's the same God. It's the 10 Commandments. They're from the Old Testament. It's Moses. It's very simple. And just to say it's a part of, I'm sure he's converting for someone he's marrying. That's what I would imagine. That's usually why you do.
Yeah.
Very rarely do people do a Sammy Davis Jr. and read all about it and go, that's for me, of any religion.
Or he just needs to bring some hamantashen. What are the cookies? Just bring your dad some hamantashen. What are those cookies called?
Just smoked fish, latkes. There's so much
Just
stuff.
bring them some culturally Jewish dishes and say, this is why.
And I would say
hamantashen.
Bring him to temple. Bring him to temple and let him learn. It's like I'm sure there are Orthodox temples that you'd go to and they wouldn't let you in. But like more often than not, it's like church. It's like, yeah, fucking have a seat. Come hang with us. Learn about it. Know what it is.
Yeah. So he missed his bar mitzvah, but that would sway. That would sway him.
That would sway. That wouldn't make him understand. Take him to Seder.
One Seder, and he's probably going to be in himself.
Yeah, probably.
The Jewish culture is awesome.
Yeah.
I would consider, if I were committed to, I don't have the desire at this moment in time, but I don't know. Because I just don't feel religious at the moment. Like I'm not necessarily.
I couldn't be Orthodox, but otherwise, I think it's.
Yeah, I love the Jewish culture. I mean, I guess I can just enjoy it without having to convert.
Well, and even just the faith of Judaism is pretty solid, and like it's very adaptable to a lot of. There's a lot of wisdom in the Talmud.
Yeah, I do like. I guess they wouldn't call it sermons, but I find that rabbis, when they speak, or anytime I've been to a service like that, or read a book by a rabbi, or spoken to a rabbi, I don't know, I've found probably more comfort than pastors I've spoken with. But I mean, it's not like I don't mean to pit them against each other. I just mean I grew up a certain way. And
look, I will say this: like I grew up Catholic, and it's extremely judgmental in a lot of ways. On the main. My parents' church is very progressive, but that's so fucking rare.
Yeah.
And my mom first visited me in LA. I think it was when she first visited me. She's like, can we just go to church? And I was like, okay, well, there's a Catholic church near me. And we went. And the dude's whole sermon was all about what they're not, which I've always gone by. Define yourself by what you love and what you are, rather than what you hate or what it's like a tenet of AA, where someone's like, yeah, I drink a lot, but not like Dave. It's like,
right.
You had nothing to do with Dave. Let him have his life. You're not better than him. So this dude is just up there on the sermon going and he's talking Buddhism, but we're not Buddhists, are we? No, we do not believe that. We don't believe. And I was just like, well, what do you? Can you talk about rather than what you're against? Like, it made me go, man, I'm glad I don't go to fucking church. Fuck this church. I've never heard of a rabbi being like, we don't do that. And I'm sure someone's listening and being like, you haven't met this guy. But those traditions have gone on for millennia for a reason,
Yeah.
I don't know. So, sorry, I feel like I just went off there. I didn't read this.
No. I've been reading this book by a rabbi.
How Suffering Transforms Us. Wow, I got to find that. I could use that right now. That's awesome.
It's a good book.
Well, Beth, it was so great to have you on the show. I miss you, and I love you very much.
I love you. Thanks for having me.
Are you feeling okay these days? You seem like you're hanging in there. You seem like you're doing great.
better than I was probably at the beginning
Okay.
of all of this. And then my special coming out, I was forced to sort of emerge from my
Of course.
cave.
Gotta promote.
But yeah, we'll make it through all this,
Okay.
hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
No, we will. We will.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, if we don't have hope, then what's the fucking
Yeah.
point, you know?
I think I won't return to stand up until I can have it what it was. Just like
the way it was.
Yeah, energy exchange and human connection is why I do it.
Yes, exactly.
Not behind plexiglass and masks.
Exactly.
And obviously I'm pro mask and pro safety.
Yes, absolutely.
But I don't want to do that's why I don't want to do stand up.
Right. And like, when I did stand up, I loved touching people's bodies and faces.
Yes.
And
Strictly, especially their slippery tongues.
just a creep where you're like, wait,
I like French. I love French.
We weren't allowed to do that before pandemic. The fuck?
My VIP seats are front row, and it's because you get Frenched. So until we can get back to that.
Oh, be like the person who's never heard of Gallagher, but they get sat in the front row and they don't have like a raincoat or something. Why does everyone? You're just going down a line.
The splashdown.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Beth.
Of course. Everybody watch my special Girl Daddy on HBO Max.
Girl Daddy is awesome. Everybody watch it.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, everybody. If you need some advice and you don't care if the people giving it are completely unqualified, leave a message at 323-763-0228. It's always 323-763-0228, or as Beth Stelling pointed out, DadPod 0228. Thanks. This Might Help with Matt Braunger was created and hosted by me, Matt Braunger. Produced by Outer Circle Media. Executive producers Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcasts.